Hi, my name is Bill Buska. I'm sitting here on the docks of Lake Makatawa in Holland, Michigan. That's the Pierius Magnus behind me. I'm a crew member. I became involved with this boat back in September, and now it's May 19th. We've been here since May 15th in Holland, after taking our maiden voyage from South Haven, Michigan. For me, it started in September, when I went down to look at the tall ships in the harbor at South Haven. I got tall ship fever. I think that's the only way to describe it. They're beautiful ships, and the romance of sailing away on one of them swept me. And I went to speak to some of the captains about maybe crewing. That's when I met Jorna and Boogie, two Dutch kids who had an idea that they're going to get off and make their own tall ship, and they decided South Haven would be a good place to do that.
14 months ago, we left from Amsterdam on a three-masted bark, a wonderful old-fashioned clipper bark, and we sailed first to England, and from England we sailed further to Spain, and from Spain we crossed the ocean in 30 days. During all that sailing on this big tall ship, a friend of mine and I, we got the idea of building our own ship, our own sailing vessel without an engine and as traditional as possible, but built with modern materials and built on a way that it was economical for us to build it. In Halifax in Canada, we jumped ship and stepped over to another vessel, the Picton Castle, which brought us all the way on the Great Lakes to South Haven. And in South Haven we stepped off because we met some wonderful people who told us that we could stay in their home till we had finished our project and built the boat we wanted to build.
Between the two of them, they were able to generate a lot of enthusiasm for this project. Boogie was more of the public relations guy, creating a website, making phone calls, writing letters. And Jorna was the brains behind the building of the Pierius Magnus. We started off at the Padnos boat shed in South Haven, Michigan at the Maritime Museum. That space was donated to us by the Maritime Museum.
We, as a not only a museum, but interested in boat building technologies, but also a facility that wanted to participate and help teach practical boat building, were greatly interested in helping any way we could. It became obvious relatively quickly, I think, that what they had in mind for a boat was larger than we were able to really handle at this facility. But we still wanted to help them in any way we could through the use of tools and publicity in any way that we could possibly support them, and that's how we've worked with them since.
The plans changed. Boogie and Jorna decided to build a bigger boat, and after their stay at the Padnos boat shed, where we cut a lot of pieces, we moved the pieces over to the Blue Star Music Camp, which is being built in a former aluminum factory in South Haven, and started assembling it. And so the boat finally did get done with the help of a lot of people from the South Haven area. And that was the amazing part, really, that so many people contributed of their time and money and talent and materials to build this thing. This really is their story, the people who helped build the boat. When did you first meet Boogie and Jorna?
It was back in January, I think. And I'm amazed at how far we've gotten in such a short time. I went down to, they were at the boat shed down at the museum, and I made a special trip over there just to see what they were doing. And that got me even more interested in it, because when you start seeing the pieces of wood laying around, it really piques your interest in wanting to be a part of it. The first thing I started on was the mast, shaping the mast out of logs and the spars. I made the belaying pins. Matter of fact, I think I have one. This is one of my rejects here. But the belaying pins like this that we use for securing the ropes that hold the sails in place, all the lines. And there were 20 of these, I believe we made. And those will hold up the various lines used in the rigging. So that was another project. And I did that on my old 50-year-old shopsmith. You converted it into a lathe and turned them up out of oak. The oak came from Lewis, the gentleman who's been supplying a lot of the wood. And then when I finished that, they said that the guy hadn't started making the blocks. Someone had promised to make the blocks for him. And so I volunteered to go ahead and finish that project up. And I'm still working on that. Hopefully I'll have it done by the time that they need them.
They engaged the community, and they made a big point to go into many retail stores and just a lot of the organizations and institutions in the city, and they engaged them in the process. And I think that it was an infectious kind of enthusiasm that they had for this project, and maybe it tapped into some of the dreams that we all had when we were young, to be able to do something that was such a big project. And heaven, you know, here they are 6 months later, and they've got it floating on the water.
It's just a great project, you know, to see somebody build something by hand. In this day and age where everybody's on a cell phone and got a laptop and they're doing 80 miles an hour, it's nice to see somebody slow down and build something by hand. And I really think that that sort of romanticism is what's captured the attention of South Haven. I couldn't believe it when the finished product came. It's amazing. It's a beautiful boat. You know, going through the process and seeing it built, I couldn't believe how quickly it went along. I mean, one day I walked in, there's a skeleton of the boat up. The next day I walked in, the sides are done, the bottom's done. You know, and it's amazing to see it actually in the water. You know, it's one thing to see it in a warehouse being constructed. It's another thing when you guys actually launched it. You know, it was a very moving moment for a lot of people in South Haven.